What's good, guys? Haas here. We're going to talk about them thuggin' Yu-Gi-Oh players. See, I got my collar up and I got my hat sideways like them thugs do up in the hizzle grizzle homie G. Alright, no, but seriously. When I go to my locals, there's always that group of thugs, I'm going to call them thugs, that are not necessarily African American. Most likely they're a mixture between Mexican, whites, who think they're cool, but they're not, and then a little bit of African Americans. Now, I'm Mexican, and I'm a little bit of everything, so I'm not trying to be racist here. And this is really not a racist thing. So when I go to my locals, I always try to avoid that group because I know that if something happens, like bad, because when they lose, they get angry and they start to get their posse to start dueling me as well, and when they lose, they get angry and then something starts up. So let me tell you, the first time I entered a tournament at my locals, I was a novice. I really didn't know what meta decks were, and this is like right when I made my Frog Monarch deck. So this was probably like, I don't even know. Let's see, it's 2013 now, so probably 3 years ago. No, actually, yeah, about 3 years ago. And I really didn't have anything. I had a rock deck that I made, and it was pretty cool. I loved it. But I beat a lot of kids using meta decks back then. I don't even know what the format was back then though. But there was that group, the kids with the hizzy wops and the dooley boops and the puddin' pops. You know, they were thugging, man, in this tournament. And so I go up against like 3 or 4 of them and I win. I don't know how. It's miraculous that I made it that far. But there's probably 20 kids in the tournament. So I'm doing pretty good. And then finally, I guess you can call him the pack leader. Well, I go up against him and we get to the 3rd match and I win with a Magic Cylinder, because Magic Cylinder was still amazing even back then. And then afterwards, I lost to this 5th person who I dueled, or 5th or 6th, I can't remember. Then when I was done in the tournament, I got my prizes, and then I sit down, and then that whole group comes by me, and like, yo, what you doing here, man? What you doing? And I'm like, I'm just here with my friend that invited me. This is the time where I didn't know mixed martial arts, which now I know. I mean, they didn't do anything to me. They're just like talking to me. He's like, where'd you learn all them dueling skills from, broski? I'm like, nowhere. I learned it from myself. And they wanted to duel me again. I was like, alright. So we have this lined up, these thugs, them thugs just lining up, and I duel all of them, and I win. And then they leave. And when they come back, they come with more kids, and I'm like, you know, I'm a bounce. I'm gonna get out of here. So I got out of there. So just them thuggin' Yu-Gi-Oh players, like, they come in numbers, and even though they be thuggin', and even though the people are there, you know, to stop if anything happens, you still gotta be safe. So if you ever meet that thuggin' Yu-Gi-Oh player, stay on your toes, because stuff might happen, and if you have to do something that you don't want to do, leave. That's all I can say. Leave. Because I'm gonna tell you another story. Alright. Now this is 2 years afterwards, so this is when I'm finally into the meta. I'm really deep in it. Probably have 2 or 3 decks by then already. I can't even remember which ones I had though. All I know is I had Frog Monarch and Bubble Beat at that time. But remember, there's these 2 guys, and they got in a fight, and it got to the point where they were about to get in a fist fight. And the owner of the place with, I'm not sure, it was these really 2 big guys that like sit in the back. I'm guessing they're security. But they say, hey, you guys need to leave. Well, when they left, they got their posses, like 3 or 4 kids apiece. And they came inside and they started stuff up again, and finally they said, you know what, we're gonna settle this. And they actually legitimately go into the bags and bring out their deck, and they sit down and they duel. I was like, really, you're gonna settle a fight with a children's card game when you guys could have just left and just forgot about the whole thing. I mean, they were ready to break in a fight. I'm just happy it was a duel, and after they dueled, they got kicked out. So it was just like one of those scary things, because, yeah, just like you never know what's gonna happen, especially when I'm in downtown, so it's kind of like a lot of bad people, but there's some good people there, and you're safe when you're there because those bodyguards. I think there's 4 of them now in the back. There's this really big guy now. He's very scary and intimidating, but he's cool. But yeah, I'm just saying, like, keep out the watch for them thuggin' Yu-Gi-Oh players. Collars popped up like mine, hat sideways like this, and they'll probably have like a dog collar on with spikes on it. They'll have saggy pants. So just beware of those guys. So beware of the thuggin' Yu-Gi-Oh players. That's all I'm gonna say. All right. Thank you guys for watching, and Haas out.